Hello, home audio fans. Dustin here, Average Guy Hi-Fi. I wanted to get this video up this Super Bowl Sunday, just before the game. So, happy Super Bowl Sunday, by the way. If you're hanging out with friends and family, enjoying the festivities that the Super Bowl brings, I hope you guys have a wonderful time. If you're at home, I hope you're cooking up a storm. So just enjoy the Sunday here if you're watching it February 2nd, 2020. Again, I wanted to get this video up before the game started to try to give my viewers a little bit of a buyer's guide for the used home audio market that has the experience that I've gone through the last 20 years buying hundreds of pairs of speakers. Just little things to look for and try to position yourself just to get the best deals possible and also so you stay safe. Speaking of safe, this is my first point. If you're meeting somebody off the internet from OfferUp, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, with cash, I mean, a lot of times you're bringing hundreds of dollars with you somewhere to go buy speakers and you don't know that person. Always meet in a public place that's well lit and during normal hours. I've had people wanting to meet me with, if I'm selling like $1,500 speakers, meet in a parking lot at 10 p.m. and you know, it's just not worth your safety to do something like that. So just, again, meet somewhere, kind of normal business hours is kind of how I'd want to keep it. Meet in a well-lit parking lot if they don't want you to come to their house, because again, they're nervous about this too. A lot of times these people that I buy speakers from, they don't want me in their house. I'm a stranger. So totally understand both sides of things here. But meet in a well-lit area during normal hours where there's some activity. I usually choose grocery stores or like a Starbucks, something along those lines. And a really cool feature that our local police department has is they have an area of their parking lot where it's designed for people that are buying on these online communities, local online communities, to give them a nice safe place to do the transaction, which is a very nice gesture by the police department, and it's one extra level of security, making sure that you're staying safe. So that's another option as well too. So back to my other point, a lot of times these people that are selling really expensive gear have really expensive houses, and they don't want a stranger showing up and buying $400 worth of speakers. Is just not worth it. So what they'll do is they'll load them up and we'll meet in a public place. I actually kind of like it too, but the downside to that is you're obviously not able to listen to them. So this little buyer's guide is just to try to point out some of the things that you can look for when you're taking a look at the gear. Obviously, you definitely want to hear it first. I even offer the people that buy the speakers from me just to, hey, you can take them home. If you're not happy with them, if you find something wrong with them, just give me a call. I'm an easygoing guy. I'll give you your money back. I'll take the speakers back, and then I'll try to fix them and then sell them again to somebody else. So that's the plan anyway. And offer them a little bit of peace of mind if you're selling, or it gives the buyer a little bit of peace of mind knowing, hey, this guy is not trying to just rip me off. I feel like in this society, we're always looking for the negative in people, which usually isn't the case. The people I run into in sales daily, hundreds of people for my job, is they're generally very nice people, and what you read online is not an indicator of how people are actually living their lives. But with that said, there's bad people out there too. So definitely kind of protect yourself from just bad situations that could potentially come up. So again, meet in a public place. If you're bringing cash, I like to do PayPal. It seems like scammy. A lot of people, if I'm trying to buy something, if it's $1,000 that I'm trying to buy, it's like walking around meeting somebody with $1,000 in my pocket is a little bit nerve-wracking. So if it's once I've met with them, I usually bring this up beforehand to make sure they're okay with it. But a lot of times I'll just send the money directly to them right then and there. And then that way I'm not carrying around a bunch of cash. Or I'll bring half and then send them half, however you want to structure that. So now to the equipment side of things. This right here is a Klipsch RB15. I just picked this set up. I'll be reviewing these shortly as soon as I figure out editing. I'm still working on that, and it's rather frustrating. I'm not really a computer guy. I'm lucky that I'm even making these videos, to be totally honest with you. But I basically picked this RB15 up, and I just kind of wanted to show you. It's got a killer deal on it, probably $900 worth of speakers. Met somebody, parking lot again, gave him $50. The guy was super happy to sell them. I was super happy to buy them. That's kind of the way these things work. So this speaker right here is overall is in very good shape, but there's a couple things that you can kind of protect yourself from if you're buying it without hearing it. One thing that you can do is gently, I say this because these things get dented very easily, especially these Klipsch copper woofers, which I love the look of, but it's just a total turnoff when they have dents in them. So gently take your hand and just kind of make about the size of the woofer and just push gently on the woofer itself. Make sure that when you're pushing, you're not feeling any grinding. It's not being bound up. Sometimes when you push on it, it feels like it's not going to move at all. That's a bad sign. That means the woofer is blown. It's out of alignment, so it's just binding up on itself. But if you push it and it's nice and smooth, you don't feel the grinding, it's not bound up, then that's a good indicator that that woofer is probably not blown. It's not for sure, but it's just one other way to try to protect yourself against these speakers purchases. So these things are, I mean, they're pretty simple, so not a whole lot can go wrong with them. So I'll just point out the things that I've noticed. This right here is another very common issue. This is why I'm using this speaker as an example besides all the other ones I have. Because when I purchased these, the person didn't notice and didn't put it in the ad, but what they're missing is the jumpers that connect the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative terminals. This is an easy fix. I would never turn down the purchase of a speakers if it had issues with the terminals, if it was missing the jumpers. Just all you have to do is just take a piece of speaker wire and then connect the, like this one's missing the black terminal jumpers, so I would just take the speaker wire, put it in there for the top black terminal and then the lower black terminal. And basically what that does, it just connects those two terminals just like that strap was. The strap was intended by the manufacturer. You can even reach out to Klipsch and ask them if they can send you a strap, but I never do. It's just not really worth it. It does the same thing using the speaker wire, and there's no, like, doesn't degrade the sound or anything like that. So another thing to look for, this is always an issue, again, on the used speaker market, is I feel like 40% of the speakers I buy have issues with the grills. Now, whether that be the grill fabric kind of coming loose and sagging, which it looks terrible, or it could be that the owner had a cat or a dog and there's snags in the grill cloth. But the main reason I bring this up is, see these little pegs right here? These little pegs break off quite frequently. This is an Aperion Audio grill cover here. So it has very high quality pegs. I love the way they do it. But for whatever reason, the rest of the industry, you could spend $1,000 on a pair of bookshelf speakers and it has these little cheap plastic pegs that hold the grills on. If the pegs are broken off on the speaker grills, not a big deal at all for me. I prefer my speakers, especially ones like these beautiful Klipsch reference speakers. I love that copper. I'm a single guy, no kids, no pets, so I leave the grills off anyway. Not a big deal for me if it has broken pegs, but I wanted to point that out because that will negatively affect you if you have kids and things like that, and you need a little bit more protection for the speaker. So performance-wise, obviously, that doesn't do anything. But again, one other thing to kind of bring up. This set here is a different option. This is the Klipsch RB15 speaker grill here, and that has magnets in it. So those magnets just kind of click it right into place. So that's another thing to try to keep an eye on when you're looking at it. Obviously, overall condition of the speaker is very important. What I notice is a lot of home theater gear is a gloss black. I am a huge fan of the gloss black speakers. I think they look beautiful, but they are a high maintenance speaker because you're always dusting them. I mean, if you've got a little bit OCD when it comes to cleanliness like me, you're always dusting them, you're wiping fingerprints off them. But the main reason I bring up the gloss black is because the finish is easily scratched, and that just totally just takes away from the value of the speakers. Condition is huge. So make sure if you're getting gloss black, get them out in the sunlight. A lot of dark rooms, you won't notice. You'll buy the speakers, shake the hand, start carrying speakers out, and then you get outside and you see the sunlight, it'll show off all the imperfections in the speaker. So I would do that. Just make sure that they aren't too beat up. And if you have a dark room, you're getting a good deal on it. Again, I wouldn't walk away from it because of that, but I definitely want that pointed out to you guys as well. Obviously, things like smashed corners and everything could be an indicator of how speakers are treated, but luckily they're pretty simple pieces of equipment. It's just speaker wires that kind of run internally, a crossover and the woofers and all that stuff. So luckily it's not like a receiver. Like if you drop one of these 4K HDR home theater receivers, it's not going to survive. A speaker, the looks of it will definitely be diminished, but if it still performs and you're getting a good deal on it, I wouldn't pass on that stuff either, especially if you got a darker room or it's a back corner where it's kind of hidden. So anyway, I just wanted to throw this video up here since I'm having issues with me editing videos. I'm a little bit frustrated right now, but I'm meeting with somebody to try to get those bugs worked out, and then just make sure that my product's very consistent. Every time I put out a video, the quality's consistent, the way the video is structured is consistent. But right now I'm just having to shoot these long, rambling videos, so I hope I'm not scaring away people. My whole point of this channel is really, the feedback's been amazing, by the way. I've had, I think 6 people reached out to me, wanted me to come over and hear their home theaters, maybe have me video them. They've been reaching out to me asking questions from all over the world. This is exactly what I wanted this channel to do, kind of bring the used audio community together. And it's not like I'm strictly used audio. I buy the new stuff and all that as well too. So again, I'm not trying to take away from manufacturers' ability to sell things. What I'm trying to do is build the base up so beginners or the novices out there will have a little bit more information, and that'll only spread the hobby that we're in. What that saying is, high tide raises all ships. I'm a strong believer in that. So the person that's out there buying these $50 speakers will be the same person that's going into Magnolia Hi-Fi's, Best Buys, and buying the $900 speakers. So that's my kind of point. Just give you guys some advice. Again, I'm going to be working on the quality. I'm working on a logo. I got this room finally together, so things should be improving. But again, this is a rather long video. I apologize for how long it ended up turning out, but I just wanted to give you guys some pointers of things that I learned over the last 20 years buying this stuff. So I hate begging, but it's like, please subscribe to the channel. It's more of like I just want this to grow for the benefit of the people that are into this hobby like I am. Like I said, the feedback, people have been reaching out to me. They're asking me questions about what speakers to buy, and this is my passion. I've got a great job, successful in my job, but this is my passion, so I'm just going to follow it. I'm going to make these little videos, hopefully at least a couple a week, and then over time they should be improving. So if you stuck around this long, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification, and reach out to me. Hit me up if you have questions about speakers, or if you're here in the Seattle area and you're like, Dustin, what do you think about this deal? Hit me up. I'd be happy to shoot you some advice and try to help you out a little bit. So again, thank you for sticking along this long for the video, and Average Guy Hi-Fi. Enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. Thank you very much. Go Chiefs!